Hi my loves, welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. Here in this channel we talk about relaxed hair care, hair growth tips, protective styling, and anything hair related. So if you know you're interested in this type of content, please consider subscribing to join the family. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys 10 protective style myths, how these myths may have been hindering your hair growth, and the truth behind them. So without further ado, let's just get started. And the first one I'm going to be talking about is protective styles grow your hair. This myth has been on for so long, and even to today, so many people still believe that protective styles grow your hair. Guys, this is not true. What protective styles does is to help with length retention, and they do this by preventing breakage, not by growing your hair. Because regardless of what you do, regardless of the products, regardless of the routines, the protective styles, your hair always grows, except you have something like a medical condition. But outside that, your hair always grows. What protective style does is to protect your ends and your hair from breakage, and that is why protective styles involve tucking your ends away, because your ends are the farthest from your scalp, and therefore they are the weakest part of your hair. Therefore they break more easily compared to other parts of your hair strands. So that is why protective styles focus on the ends in order to prevent those ends from breaking, and therefore leading to length retention. So guys, protective styles don't grow your hair. It leads to length retention by simply preventing breakage. Now moving on, the next myth I'm going to talk about is protective styles cause hair breakage. This is funny because so many people believe protective styles grow your hair, but at the same time so many people also believe that protective styles cause hair breakage. Some people don't even care about protective styles anymore. They don't care about installing protective styles or about the type of protective styles they install, because they believe that protective styles cause hair breakage. They may have had breakage when they installed protective styles in the past, but this is not necessarily due to the protective style itself, but due to the care and the routine during the protective styling. So there are things that can lead to hair breakage when you install your protective styles. For example, when your protective styles are too tight, they can cause hair loss, since this is going to put a lot of tension on the scalp and therefore lead to traction alopecia. So this is one way your protective styles can cause hair breakage, but you can see that this is not due to protective styling, rather is due to a wrong protective styling technique. Another way your protective styles can cause breakage is when the extensions you use for your protective styles are too heavy compared to the density of your hair. This will also cause tension on your hair, tension on your follicles, and also lead to hair loss from traction alopecia. Another way your protective styles can cause hair breakage, which I believe is responsible for the most breakage when people install protective styles, is the takedown, wrong takedown technique. Some people don't prepare their hair before taking down their protective styles. On the day of the takedown, they don't use the right techniques, and at the end they cause hair breakage, and they feel the protective style is responsible for the breakage. I always say that the most important part of protective styling is the takedown, because this can make or break your hair depending on how you take the protective style down. So if you do everything right, preparing your hair before the takedown — by the way, I usually prepare my protective styles before taking them down like 2 days before my takedown, and I do this by moisturizing and sealing my hair. That way my hair is well moisturized, the knots, the tangles, the build up, everything becomes moisturized, softens off, and during the detangling process it's easier to break up the build up and it's easier to detangle. So learn to always prepare your hair before taking down your protective styles in order to prevent breakage. On the day of the takedown itself, you also have to be gentle. During my takedown routines, I start with finger detangling before I go in with a comb. You don't want to go in and just pull a comb through your hair after taking down your protective styles, because a comb is more harsh compared to your fingers. With your fingers you will be more gentle, you will be able to feel the knots as you detangle and gently pull them apart compared to when you use a comb. So always start with finger detangling when you're taking down your protective styles before going in with a comb. So protective styles don't cause hair breakage, but wrong protective styling techniques can cause hair breakage. Now moving on, the next myth I'm going to be talking about is protective styles should be tight. Funny enough, some people believe that the tighter your protective styles, the faster your hair will grow. They sort of believe that when your protective styles are tight, is kind of dragging your hair or pulling your hair from your scalp and making it grow faster. But this is completely wrong, guys. On the contrary, it's going to lead to hair breakage, because like I said earlier, if your protective styles are too tight, there's going to be a lot of tension on your scalp, and it's going to lead to hair loss from traction alopecia. So yes, they are right, it's going to cause a lot of pulling, but instead of the pulling resulting in growth, the hair strands are going to be completely pulled off from the scalp. So protective styles shouldn't be tight. And how do you know if your protective styles are tight? If you have to take painkillers for a protective style, your protective style is probably too tight. If you are getting bumps on your scalp after installing a protective style, your protective style is too tight. If you are having headache after installing a protective style from pain, your protective style is too tight. So tight protective styles don't lead to faster hair growth. On the contrary, they lead to hair breakage. So your protective styles shouldn't be too tight. Moving on, the next protective style myth I'm going to be talking about is leaving your protective styles in for more than a month damages your hair. Some people believe that when you leave your protective style in for more than 1 month, your hair breaks. Some are even extreme to the point of not leaving in their protective styles for more than 1 or 2 weeks. But guys, if you've been watching my videos and if you're an OG, you know that I'm an advocate of long-term protective style. Out of the full 12 months in a year, I may install short-term protective styles for only about 2 to 3 months. The remaining 9 to 10 months, I install long-term protective styles. And this is because I install short-term protective styles immediately after my relaxer routine. That's because I'm trying to enjoy my hair more. I'm also trying to give my hair and my scalp space to breathe and recover from the relaxer process, the relaxer routine. So that's why I use simple short-term protective styles like bonds, twisted bonds, and all of that. But after that phase is over, I'm back into long-term protective styles back to back. And my long-term protective styles usually range between a month and 4 months. I even hardly do 1 month protective styles because recently my protective styles have been ranging between 3 to 4 months. The last protective style I took down was in for 3 months. The one before that was in for 2 months, and the one before the one of 2 months was in for 4 months. And I have been getting a lot of positive results from these long-term protective styles. So the longer you can leave your hair alone, the better for your hair, because your hair grows from low manipulation. Breakage only occurs when you are manipulating your hair, and protective style is a way of low manipulation. So the longer you can leave your hair alone, the better for your hair. So if you want to stretch the duration of your protective styles for more than a month, go ahead and do so, as long as you use the right protective styling techniques, like they are not too tight, you prepare your hair before taking down your protective styles, you are gentle on the day of your takedowns, you will definitely see positive results. So no guys, leaving your styles in for more than a month does not damage your hair. Moving on, the next myth I'm going to be talking about is products should be applied daily to protective styles. Some people even do this as a challenge, like applying products on your hair every single day while in a long-term protective style. And when I say products, I mean things like heavy leave-in conditioners, butters, and all of that. When you install long-term protective styles, it's advisable to use lightweight products like oils, because this will lead to a less build-up compared to when you use heavy-based products like leave-in conditioners and butters. When you use this kind of products every single day in a long-term protective style, the amount of build-up you are going to get is going to be much, which is going to lead to a difficult takedown and eventually breakage. So during my long-term protective styles, I don't use anything like butters. I use just my leave-in conditioner and my oil, and I don't do this every day. For a long-term protective style of 3 to 4 months, I may moisturize and seal my hair just twice. That is to tell you how much I always want to avoid product buildup, because when you have a lot of buildup, you're going to get more tangles, which is going to make your takedown difficult and eventually result in breakage. So you can use products during your long-term protective styles, but avoid the heavy products. Go for more lightweight products, and even with the lightweight products, I would not recommend that you use them on your hair every single day, because first, apart from the fact that the more product you use, the more build-up you tend to have. Secondly, there is also the risk of over manipulation, because there is no way you are going to apply a product on your hair without manipulating your hair. So you are going to be putting your hair through daily manipulation, which can cause hair breakage on its own. So guys, this saying that products should be applied daily to protective styles is a myth and shouldn't be done. You can use products, but not daily, and the products you use should be lightweight, not heavy. Now moving on, the next myth I'm going to be talking about is ponytails, braids out, wash and goes are protective styles. Now, so people believe that styles like ponytails, braids out, twist out, wash and goes are protective styles. This is wrong, guys. A protective style is a style that tucks your end away and protects your ends. A low manipulation style, on the other hand, may not necessarily protect your end. So all protective styles are low manipulation styles, but not all low manipulation styles are protective styles. So these styles I talked about, ponytails, braids out, wash and goes, twist outs, are low manipulation styles but not protective styles. So as long as a style does not protect your end, it is not a protective style. It is more of a low manipulation style, and generally you tend to get more breakage from these styles compared to protective styles, because they are not going to be protecting your ends, since your ends are still exposed. I'm not saying you shouldn't install ponytails, braids out, wash and goes and the rest, but know that they are not protective styles. They are more of low manipulation styles, and they aren't going to be protecting your hair as much as protective styles like buns, braids, twists, cornrows, wigs, sew-ins, and the rest of them. So yes guys, ponytails, braids out, wash and goes are not protective styles. Now moving on, the next myth I'm going to be talking about is all protective styles can be used on all hair types. A protective style that led to length retention for me may cause breakage for you, because our hair types may be different. A protective style that is suitable for high density hair may not be suitable for low density hair. A protective style that can be used on coarse hair may not be suitable for fine hair. So depending on your hair texture, your hair density, your hair type, the protective styles you install are going to be different. If you have high density hair, you may get away with using heavy extensions or a lot of extensions during your protective styling installations, because due to the high density of your hair, it may be able to withstand the weight and tension of the extensions, compared to someone that has low density hair. Using that same amount of extensions can lead to a lot of tension, traction, and breakage. The same goes for using things like crochet. If you have high density hair, you can get away with using heavy weighted crochet, but if you have low density hair, the crochet you use should be lightweight. So you have to choose your protective styles according to your hair textures, hair density, hair type, and all of that. So all protective styles can't be used on all hair types. So moving on, the next protective style myth I'm going to talk about is extensions should always be used for protective styles. When you talk about protective styles, to some people, the first thing that comes into their mind is using extensions. Protective styling doesn't always involve using extensions, as long as your ends are protected, as long as your ends are tucked away. It is a protective style. Putting your hair in a simple bun without any form of extension is a protective style, a short-term protective style. Putting your hair in cornrows without the use of extensions is a protective style. Braiding your hair, twisting your hair without using extensions are protective styles. So you don't have to use extensions for your protective styles. The most important thing is that your hair should be protected, your ends should be protected. Whether you use extensions or not does not really matter, as long as your ends are protected, as long as your hair is well taken care of. There are times I install protective styles using extensions, and there are times I install protective styles without using extensions, and most times I usually switch from one to another just because I want something different. So you always don't have to use extensions for your protective style. So moving on, the next myth I'm going to be talking about is protective styles stop hair shedding. So even though protective styles can help with reducing breakage, stopping breakage, it doesn't stop hair shedding. It doesn't even reduce hair shedding, because hair shedding is a natural process, a natural physiologic process of your hair strands. Usually there is a growth cycle your hair goes through, and this involves 3 phases. I have made a detailed video about the science of hair growth. You can check that video out if you are interested. But basically your hair strands goes through 3 phases: the anagen phase, the telogen phase, and the catagen phase. So during the first phase, it's going to grow, and this is where you see the most hair growth. After that, it goes into the telogen phase, where the hair growth slows down, and this is generally a resting phase before it now goes into the catagen phase and your hair sheds off. So different hair strands on your scalp are in different stages of this hair growth cycle, and the cycle can take as long as 6 years. So a particular hair strand can be on your scalp for as long as 6 years before eventually shedding. So after it has completed its growth cycle, it is eventually going to shed no matter what you do, and protective styles cannot stop this. So that is why when you take down your protective styles, even though you may get hair from hair breakage, the bulk of the hair loss you're going to get is going to be from hair shedding, especially from your long-term protective styles, because on average your hair sheds about 10 to 100 strands every single day. So hair shedding is a natural process of the hair. It cannot be stopped, and protective styles don't stop hair shedding. Protective style can stop and reduce hair breakage and lead to length retention by doing that, but when it comes to hair shedding, protective styles do not stop hair shedding. Now moving on, the next myth I'm going to be talking about is combing your hair after completely taking down your protective styles reduces breakage. If you've been watching my videos, you know that I am against this method of taking down your protective styles. I detangle and comb my hair during my protective styles take down one by one. So I will take down one braid, finger detangle that section, comb that section, put that section away, move on to the next section, and repeat the same thing until I am done with taking down the entire protective style. Now some people believe taking down your protective style completely before going into detangle and combing will reduce breakage, but this is not true, guys. You may notice less hair loss when you do this technique, because when you detangle and comb your hair all at once, you are less likely to get out all the shed hair and all the broken hair compared to when you go in section by section. So the reason why you may be seeing less hair loss from combing your protective style after completely taking it down is that this method is less effective at getting out all the shed hair compared to when you go in a braid at a time. Because when you go in a braid at a time, you'll be able to get out everything, all the shed hair. So it may look like you lost more hair, but at the end of the day, the hair loss from shedding is going to be the same. And besides, detangling your hair one braid at a time, one twist at a time during the takedown will cause less breakage compared to when you detangle and comb everything together. So combing your hair after completely taking down your protective style doesn't reduce breakage. On the contrary, it leads to more hair breakage. So yes guys, those are the 10 protective style myths I wanted to debunk. Let me know in the comment section down below if you believed in any of these myths in the past and how you eventually found out the truth. So yes guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you are new here and you aren't subscribed, please consider subscribing to join the family, and don't forget to turn on the post notification bell so that you'll be the first to get notified whenever I upload a new video. So yeah guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in my next video. Bye.